Making Dylan heat drum.
You done yelling at me?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do the intro.
Are we rolling?
Are we rolling?
Welcome to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. So on this episode, we've got a bunch of different things. We've got some listener submissions, only one, because we're recording 5 of these this week. So it's kind of hard to keep all the submissions rolling in.
Voicemail's live. Go and send in a voicemail and we can play. I think, do you have the example?
I do have.
All right.
No, it's not an example. We had a listener call in and gave us a brief, what would I say, advice. They gave us advice.
You guys can go fuck yourselves. This is the worst show I've ever heard in my entire life, and if you guys could just shut the fuck up and get off the internet, that would make my life better.
Bam. There you go. That is essentially how I view other people viewing this.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to get a lot of those. Like, I'm reluctant to what I'm going to hear being said on those voicemails.
And we're going to play them. We're going to play them. And listen, guys, I'd like to say that to the really mean ones that are very mean, we won't track you down like Liam Neeson and Taken.
I thought you were going to...
I'll find you.
Thought you were going to offer him some love and be like compassion.
That's what I hate fantasies, bro. I'm telling you, like, action movies just are not my cup of tea, because to the normal guy who has his kid kidnapped, okay, he's going to be on the phone like, please give him back. He's like, I'll find you. That guy's going to be like, how? And you just be like, I don't know, but please. Well, just that's all you could do.
Well, doesn't Liam Neeson have a specific set of skills?
A particular set of skills that makes him a nightmare for people like them. Nobody else has those.
No. Nobody
else has those skills. Really, people don't have those skills.
I grew up during the Jason Bourne trilogy or whatever. It
was that one Matt Damon?
Yeah. Matt Damon.
I can't view Matt Damon as, it's the haircut from Good Will Hunting. You can't be an action hero to me now.
I like him as an actor, but mostly
I like him as a samurai.
I love the Departed.
Yeah, The Departed's phenomenal.
It's like one of the greatest movies of all time.
I like him as a samurai.
When was he a samurai?
In the listen.
I liked him in Team America too. Like, he did a really good job in that one.
Matt Damon samurai movie, The Great Wall.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yep, it was in 2016, and they were like, you know what? Who would be a great samurai for this movie? Matt Damon. And then people were like, they should be Asian, which I agree, they should be Asian. It should not be in another language, though. I don't want to. I have subtitles on, but I'm able to watch a movie, and my brain, like, I don't know what it does.
Read.
Yeah.
You still keep up.
Yeah, I'm able to watch the movie. I don't even really, the subtitle, but when it's in you have to pay attention to the subtitles.
It was in a different language?
No, it wasn't. No. Matt Damon wasn't sitting there like, well, yeah.
I was about to say, like, he learned Japanese.
That would be great. Yeah, bro is on his. If he learns Japanese to play a samurai in a movie, you shut the fuck up and let him play the goddamn samurai.
Yeah.
Black Panther, the new Black Panther is now white.
You're kidding me, right? You're joking.
No, it's so fun. It's what?
What? For real?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he had a white son. It's in the comics.
Okay, well then I guess that's part of it then. I mean, if they're telling that part of the story, I'm not a comic kid, because like I grew up in the sticks and there was no.
I think everybody's making a joke about Ryan Gosling playing him, which would be fucking hilarious.
That would be,
especially because in The Legend of Zelda they're going to have a Black Viking, so then there could be a white Black Panther, and I'm pretty sure that solves racism.
Yeah, it's done. Check mark.
Honestly.
Completed.
Me and Dylan have pretty much solved racism. I mean, what is there that 2 white guys can't talk about that just immediately cures it?
Everything.
Society look, guys, racism's over. Go home. Pack it up. We done figured it out. So we do have a listener submission. Looks like a time I fucked up. I've not looked at any of these.
Yep, we got a time I fucked up. There's 1, am I the asshole? And then 2, malicious compliance.
Which got me and Dylan kind of arguing, because I was like, I wanted this to be we're
an advice podcast.
Yeah, I was like, we're the less Reddit one. I would be more,
Well, if we had advice,
game to talk about just like life stories. And Dylan's like, no, we're doing some Reddits. Once the advice starts coming in a lot, then that's a lot easier for us to spin the whole podcast like doing advice.
We jumped the gun because, right now we're recording 5 different episodes for next week. Usually we do 3, and so there's time in between for people to like listen to one, submit advice, listen to one, submit advice. And
do you think we should take like a day break after this one to let some? Because while we were shooting one podcast, a submission came in.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just a roll of the dice about who actually takes the time to.
I think the voicemail is going to give people more of a excitedness to do it.
It's where is it? California. It was wasn't like Bel Air. It was, I can't remember the name of where our phone number comes from, but they didn't give us any local numbers. So we're just like, I think California, it was Santa Monica.
I thought it was Bel Air. I thought you said Bel Air.
We could be the princes of that.
I wish I had an Uncle Phil, man.
Yeah.
God, if I just could have an Uncle Phil, I wouldn't have to be here doing a fucking podcast. That's for damn sure.
You'd probably be in some like drug recovery, like rehab.
Yeah. I'd already like gone infinite money to buy drugs. Oh God. Yeah. But yeah, man, when me and Dylan talk about this podcast, Dylan will be like, yeah, we could do this for growth. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we can do that. Cause my whole thing is I just like talking.
Yeah.
And I like people and I like talking to Dylan, and obviously it is a job for Dylan to talk to me because it's hard. It's hard to just sit here and.
It's hard for me to sit here and then wait for you to finish your thoughts, especially because you're like, so yeah, this, and then over there, and then back, and then, so I'm like waiting patiently, and then
but eventually. That's what makes us a good team, though.
10 minutes later.
Because I'm sporadic and not put together, and you are the adult.
And then I say, yeah.
You were the, like, Dylan, people talk about being adults. Like, if shit happens, I still look, I'm like, oh, God, there's got to be a grown person here who can handle this situation. Dylan's that grown person. He is the adult that I look up to. We're going to get into the first listener submission, which is titled Pyre. Dear Mike and Dylan, since Mike's answer to any situation is either an uppercut to the jaw or a pyre, what is the best way to construct a pyre? Thank you, Dylan, for the spelling on pyre, because I would have spelled it the way Mike would have. Love the show. Keep the rambling coming. So obviously, it's all you got to cross the logs.
Were you in Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you got a good basis to go from.
Right. So essentially the bottom is going to be like more of the kindling, and you can even do like little pyres underneath the big pyre, but you can cross the logs. You can actually time, if you have any that like you would usually want to start it off with like a big limb that has a fork in it, because then you can have it just freestanding. But if you're tying somebody to the pyre, they're going to move around a lot.
Yeah,
you're probably going to want
foundation.
Yeah, you're going to want to secure it. And
I would probably actually put the main piece that you're going to put the person on, like actually put that in the ground. Give it like a good foundation that it can stick up on, and then build around that so that that's nice and solid in the middle.
If you're building a real big pyre, you could do it like the University of
Phoenix.
No, it wasn't the University of Phoenix. I'm trying to think of who did it. They used to build big pyres, and then it collapsed and killed a couple students. I can't remember what school did that.
Yeah, that would be inadvisable to be standing in the radius of how big.
But they were building huge. If we were building huge pyre, I mean,
was it for like a class?
I look at the little watchdog thing. They would have to be a big pyre.
Was it for like a class, like physics, or
they just did? I don't know why they started doing the bonfire, but it just got progressively bigger to where they would have like engineering students out there fucking helping out doing the base and shit. And lumber companies were donating logs and all sorts of stuff, and they were building them big. And then one day they built it, and it just kind of fucking collapsed.
While it was on fire, or before?
No, while they were building it.
Oof.
And it collapsed on some of the students and killed some of them. So
it taught them about workplace safety and everything.
They did build the coolest, like a thoughtful memorial for the kids, though. So the way the university built it is that they're all doors that point in the direction of their hometown, which I think is a very, very cool little memorial to do.
That is outside the box thinking.
That is, yeah. Normally, like if there's like a mass death at work,
there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's no memorial.
Memorial, we got to put up help wanted signs. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, like, we got to replace these people.
Don't talk about that to any of the new hires either. Just shh.
It's awful too. Like when you look up all these companies, it's really companies that cause a lot of the big mass deaths, whether it's like a freight or, a tanker, a mall collapsing. It's always like rich people cutting corners and then poor people dying. And then half the time the companies don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Or they just have to pay like a small fine.
And then that money does not go to the families.
It's always so sad. And then it's like, but the good thing is all these safety regulations. There's no, we could have had those safety regulations. There could have been common sense that went into building shit.
Well, there was, but then they skirted the law, and that's the only time that they get like a little tiny fine is because like, oh yeah, you didn't follow this.
Right.
But they were already there. They're just like, let's use cheaper products. And
I don't know. Nobody cares about poor people dying. So
no.
If it was happening to rich people, like 25 rich people died in one single event, there would be, it's like how the government treated the January 6th shit, where they were talking about making it a holiday and stuff. Like, none of y'all motherfuckers died, man. Y'all didn't die. Shut the fuck up. Kamala was sitting there talking about like fucking making it all that shit. Look, I don't agree with what happened. I'm not sitting here being like but also it's essentially not that big a fucking deal.
It was a non-issue. Like,
yeah.
I mean, at the end of like what came of it was,
the only people that died were people that were, I know the Ashley girl died. She got shot by a cop though. And like nothing, but to politicians, that's like, oh, they tried to attack us. We need to make this a big thing. Bro, shut the fuck up. I don't know, man. I don't like people. I don't like, not people. I don't like personalities, including myself. I hate me.
Don't hate yourself. But I think this.
Let's get into the.
I think this today I fucked up is gonna brighten your day.
All right, yeah, let's get into this before Mike gets on a tangent. The time I fucked up by assuming my travel luggage was empty before letting a coworker borrow it. There's sex toys in it. I already know. I ain't even gotta read into it to know. My 37 female, young coworker, 20 female, was talking about what she needed to buy for an upcoming trip across the country. I was trying to be helpful and offered her to use my suitcase for her trip so she could save money. I get the suitcase out of my closet and make sure the smaller one is inside the bigger one and make sure there is nothing in the bigger suitcase pockets. After every trip, I always make sure to empty out my suitcase before I put them up, so I didn't think about looking inside of them. Time I fucked up by assuming there was nothing in the smaller suitcase since I hadn't used it in 2 years. Oh, why did I do this? If I could turn back time, I would. I drop off the suitcase to my coworker and go home feeling happy about the good deed I've done. A day later, I get a message that starts off with, "Don't be embarrassed, but you left something in your suitcase." I'm like, okay, maybe it's underwear or something. Nope, she sends me a picture of a self-pleasure toy I barely remember having. She asked me if she needs to bring it to me. I was like, for the love of God, just throw it away. True story. I don't know what was in there other than maybe I was thinking it was a good place to hide from my nosy kids. I am panicking. I'm like, please tell me this is not happening. And she's so young. She was so mature about it. And I'm over here planning to quit my job and leave the country. I immediately had to tell my husband what happened. And we cosmic laughed for 2 whole hours until we were so sore. I tell my husband everything. Even he is like, how did that get in there? And why didn't you check both suitcases? For the life of me, I wish I knew why I didn't look in the smaller suitcase. My first day seeing her after this was super awkward, but we just laughed and went on. And I apologized profusely. Everybody. Flicks the bean and beats the meat, bro.
My wife hates that term. Double clicking the mouse or flicking the bean. She hates whenever I refer to it.
Listen. They flick the bean. They fucking fiddle the skin bulb. I don't fucking know. I tried to come up with a new one. I couldn't do it. Everybody does it now. With guys, a little bit different. Because if you're
already equipped with,
and I'm getting a large black dildo in there, I'm just like, now I got to look at my friend differently. Like I have to look at him differently.
I swear that's my wife's.
Yeah, with women, it's just, or if it's like if I open it up and it's like this big piece of machinery that's like Turbo Sucker 9000 with pulsating beads and fucking cum, it refurbishes the cum to turn it into, it extracts like the water in it, and then you can use the cum part for fertilizer and the water part to drink. I'm gonna be like, bro, what the fuck did you just send me? And also, can I use it? But it's like it's a non-issue.
I don't think you would have said anything. You would have just started cleaning it up.
Right, ready to roll. I don't know the percentage of women that have sex toys, but it's a lot of them.
Well, the fact that she's like, I didn't even remember having that one. Like, obviously, there's multiples in the house. She hasn't missed this one for a good
it's like I got the swing here, and then I got the ball. The husband's just like walking in with a ball gag and shit.
Have you ever seen like the vacuum thing that where they put suction on the labia and make it Engulfed?
I have not.
Yeah. I was like, that is a wild toy, and somebody invented it and used it. Like, this is what people want, is to it's kind of like the Swedish made penis enlarger.
Wait,
from like
are they engulfing the lips or the labia?
the outer lips.
Oh, okay.
And it just like makes it very, very, very large. And it's like a
puffed.
Yeah, like, the one from Austin Powers, the Swedish made penis enlarger, like where it's like, and then it.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not.
You've never seen Austin Powers?
It didn't do nothing for me.
Oh, those are pretty good comedies for back in their
Like
day.
I remember watching one where they were pulling shit out of the bag in the tent and in the shadow. That was a very funny scene. But when I watched it, I was just like, listen, I'm not going to be a person that says, Austin, that show is not funny. I just said it was not my cup of tea. The thing about comedy is that if something makes someone laugh, especially if it makes a bunch of people laugh, that, like, people like to shit on Matt Rife. That's just not your style of comedy.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people do find him funny. He is a comedian. People like to shit on Brendan Schaub. A bunch of people find him funny, so he's a comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you look at like someone like Dave Chappelle, so who everybody will recognize as a comedian, there's a large group of people that don't find him funny.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those. I love Dave Chappelle. But there's a large group of people that does not take away from his comedic stature. When I watch Austin Powers, it's just not.
I grew up on them, so they were like in the zeitgeist when I was growing up, and so like when they were coming out, and like I only probably remember really the first two maybe, but I understand, like, there's a flavor to comedy, and like my wife loves female comedians, and for the most part it's all about female issues, so she's not talking to me, and it's not jokes for me, like it's for women, and like I can understand where women find that funny, but for me and my travel through life, the jokes aren't meant for me, so I don't find them funny. I don't think she's not a good comedian. Who
are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know the names of any of them, but like my wife,
Amy Schumer.
No,
Not a comedian.
I don't think she's.
I'm just kidding.
But no, she'd watch these different female comedians, and she's like, "This is funny," and I'm like, "That's cool." Like,
the thing I can't stand is when a female comedian's talking, and a guy will be like, "They're always talking about their vaginas." What do they have, bro? Like, yeah, we're not always talking about our vaginas because we don't fucking have them. Yeah. Like, obviously, that is for women. Like, they are talking about things for women. Sometimes you get these just abnormal comedians that are at the pinnacle. Like, they understand comedy to a degree most people will never understand. Me, you could tell when I did the freestyle the other side. Yeah. That when I did that I used swear words as a crutch and that is a crutch for me thinking of things. It's kind of like a thing that gives me even a microsecond to fucking think about something else.
Yeah.
When you look at people like Jerry Seinfeld, Nate Bargatze, like guys that there is nothing edgy. There is nothing. That means that you have to make people laugh with being funny, with thinking of concepts just outside of the norm, and just almost like he can take those guys. Like I enjoy an edgier style of comic, like Anthony Jeselnik, a lot of the new guys coming up. I really enjoy that stuff because that feels like it's in, my realm. That's what me and my friends would, talk about and joke around about.
Yeah.
But those guys, they're on a different playing field than everybody else. When Jerry Seinfeld made the joke of extra strength Tylenol, how they came up with it, and he's like, one doctor was like, give me the amount that would kill a human being and just dial it back a little bit. Like stuff like that, to think about stuff like that sets you on a different level.
Yeah.
Like when you got, and I'm not like shitting on these guys, Shane Gillis is probably right now I put him at, according to like his next special, that really will hammer in like how great he is. He's very, very, very good. But like the George Washington and Slave Teeth and stuff like that. So when you start off with here's the thing about edgy comedy and why it's kind of lazy. It is kind of lazy because when you think of like an Anthony Jeselnik joke where he's talking about, his uncle being a camp counselor, and then he's also a child molester. So there's already jokes tied into those. There's already things that come about that where you can say, hey, like there's stereotypes around it. Like if you talk about like joke around with black people, even if it's a good edgy joke that toes the line between like, you know, racism and shit like that. There are already stereotypes there. There's already stereotypes with gay people. Whatever you use to be edgy, there's already jokes there. There's
your
already
listeners already in tune with like
they're already in tune with what you're saying. But a clean comic is coming at you with nothing. They're coming at you with what they are doing, and then they are making it funny. And that is an incredibly it's way more difficult to do that with something that people aren't sitting around thinking about extra strength Tylenol.
Yeah,
that's not happening. People hear, you know, you hear racist jokes when you're growing up. You're fucking accustomed to everybody joking on everybody and things already being established. Like when you fucking think about like Hispanic people and fucking swimming and stuff like that. So when then I make a joke and then I tie it into swimming with Hispanic people, it's funny, but it was already there.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about extra strength, there's nothing. Nobody's fucking sitting there thinking about extra strength until Jerry Seinfeld says it. And then you dial it. You give me the dose that's going to kill a human being. Dial it back a little bit. That's wild. Nate Bargatze, like you look at his comedy, that shit is, man plays dumb. Like he does play dumb. He does play the character, like what he portrays on stage very well. He may, like I watch it when he's on podcasts and stuff. I've listened to him in interviews. I am unable to deduce whether he is who he says he is, but like I said, not everybody is smart in the same thing. Okay.
Well, that's like Larry the Cable Guy. I mean, he put on a persona to be, and so like even when he was in interviews and stuff, he was still in character, even though he wasn't technically that guy. So,
but I'm gonna tell you this: if Nate Bargatze's not a genius, he's a genius in comedy because.
Well, and like one of my favorites, and I wouldn't consider him a clean or like family friendly comedian, but like he didn't rely on any of that, was Mitch Hedberg. And like he was like his own like little box of, and like if you've never listened to him before, it takes you like 10 to 15 jokes before you're like, oh, I get what he's doing. And like for the most part, when I show people that, they're like, this is dumb. And I'm like, no, you literally have to understand his comedy to then get into it and understand like how all these jokes are absolutely hilarious. But it's
a lot of people think that Mitch Hedberg was like, because anytime a comedian, a personality, they die young, they like blow it up.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, I think Mitch Hedberg is great, but the fact that people don't talk about Stephen Wright more fucking makes me angry.
I don't know who he is.
That's what I'm saying, man. He does one-liners just like fucking Mitch does, and they're both extremely funny.
Yeah.
But damn, like, and what's so funny is I'll play Steve for other people. It might be Steven. Like I said, look, I know Mitch Hedberg 100%. I know it's not Mitchell, but Steve Wright, his shit, man, just back to back bangers of one-liners. And it is like, I think, his does get overshadowed by Mitch dying early, and they were like, listen to this guy say one-liners, because there's not a lot of one-liner comedians.
Yeah. No, like I think that's the craziest thing.
Mark Norman's really, really fucking good at one-liners too. His are just a little bit more extended, and he could tie stories to them, but his are very good too.
Well, and I think that's the crazy thing though, is to like have it be any sort of competition. Like I know it automatically is going to be like you want to like, jockey people into place, but like I don't think just like one person being awesome doesn't take away from another person being awesome. It's like, honestly, with those guys, I've never heard of them, and it's not that I don't like them. It's just I've never come across any of that. And like, I think it is one thing to be said about all the people that have died young in music and entertainment and all this other stuff. You do, not that it's beneficial to you, it's better to be alive, but like you do enter a legendary status. Like what could they have done, or like what, like their early work was so great, like I mean Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, like Tupac, like all these people, where would they be had they not passed away? They'd still be a prominent figure, but would they be this like legendary status?
Right. It's like Patrice O'Neal, man, like one of the best of his time, really great comedian, but no one was really like giving him his flowers until after he passed away. Like nobody was talking about Patrice O'Neal until after he died.
Yeah.
And like you read stuff about like Patrice and him going to a Comedy Central roast and fucking not having anything prepared, so he just starts roasting motherfuckers. Like that type of shit. You do get a lot of, I don't know, you get a lot of recognition when you do pass away. Like if you're a musician right now and you're struggling, but you got some bangers there, just die, bro. That's it. Just die, bro.
Our lawyers said not to follow Mike's advice.
We ain't got lawyers, man. Like if you sue us, we're fucked. Like I don't. You get the cameras. That's all we got. You
get to take our debt.
Yes. You get to have the desk. You get the cup. But yeah, man, it's there's a lot of greats out there, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying Mitch Hedberg was not he was phenomenal at one-liners. But man, there's some great comedians out there. It just sucks when you see a guy and he doesn't get his flowers.
Well, I think you do get some.
Well, also, he's way older too. Not really, like, you know, he's right, you know, before I was born, and then when I was a little kid. So he could have been just like killing it. I haven't looked at his Wikipedia page. I'm just saying it was also like during the time of Mitch Hedberg too. So it's just like I don't hear about him like I hear about Mitch.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is like if you are slightly famous, passing away, even if you were like really reaching fame at that time, once you pass away, you're a story now. And so now the people that didn't know about you are now going to find out about you, because now it's like this kind of celebrity is dead. This is a great story for us to push out. And then it becomes this big narrative. And then everybody goes back and they're like, oh, that is awesome. And so it gives you that virality that you could never get as just being alive. You really have to do something
about that. And then just dying in your prime too. You have the people that are like, oh, what could have been.
Yeah.
When normally, you know, when people die in their prime, the could have been is just sad. Like it's the decline, and it's which I watched this one thing, man. I'm gonna tell you, wit is hard to come by. I've tried my whole life to be witty. Bill Burr's like the wittiest motherfucker on earth. When I forgot who was interviewing him, he was on talk show, and they were like, you know, you're getting older, and he's like, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? Tear my ACL, not be able to tell a joke anymore? Bro is like, I look at like, you know, I look at comedy in like different sections and what like people are great in. Like I said, the one-liners, and Mitch Hedberg's in the great. He's in the best of one-liners.
Yeah.
And then you got like wit and just being smart and off the cuff type shit. People will say, you know, Robin Williams stole jokes, which it sucks when you are riffing. I don't think he ever did it on purpose. Like Joe words it as like he fucking would run out of something and be like, oh, this guy said, he's not thinking that. He's just fucking saying it. And that happens to people in everyday situations. Like you'll say a joke when the time comes that maybe you didn't fucking, that you made.
If you spend literally your whole life like doing comedy and like being around comedians and stuff like that, you can't necessarily like encyclopedia in your head.
Yeah,
like,
everything. Like, oh, this is something that somebody else wrote, and and it is really hard to like fact check yourself and then be like, okay, now I've written a joke and now I must go down every single, like to the guys who would like actually go to like clubs and shit and fucking take it, like Carlos Mencia and shit like that. That is stealing a joke. Well, everything else that I view as like, if someone didn't purposely do it, they're not known for doing it, but they accidentally do it. That's just,
well, if 90% of your catalog is you, and then 10% are some slip ups, like that's one thing. But if it's like the other way of like most of your whole repertoire, or like 50-50 even.
I changed the equation. Once it is a set that you have worked on religiously and mastered, and you have, you know, went to, you know, open mic nights, because they don't just, like, comedians don't just come up with a set. They write it, they go to open mic nights, then, you know, they're trying that joke out on different places, then that joke goes into, you know, the bigger set that's going on TV, and that's essentially how they kind of formulate it, and then they can kind of storyboard how everything is. Now, once you're at that point and you have jokes that are not yours, you're going to have been made aware that it's not your joke.
Exactly.
So I give more leniency to Robin Williams, because you don't know what the fuck he's going to say. When you go watch a show and watch a different one, when you would watch it, rest in peace, Robin, it's different. Yeah. So, but like I said, even if jokes are similar, people are going to come up with similar style jokes for concepts. And also, not everybody is aware of every single comedian, so that you can take a joke so far where people are, oh man, this guy said it on a fucking PBS special back in. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you laugh? Then shut the fuck up. So I don't condone stealing jokes.
Well, all I'm getting at is like if you can still like feign ignorance, like if it's you don't actually know, like it's more forgivable. Like if you are known to steal jokes and you continue to do so, you're the asshole. But like, in a like if you have not been made aware of it and then all of a sudden you are, be like, oh, my bad, and then rework your set or whatever. But like if you're just going to continue down that road of like actually stealing, like a premise is not a joke, but like if it's fully, you can say that was attributed to this person, then you should be like, oh, okay, I'll rework it.
Right.
Like it won't make it to a Netflix special without you being made aware of it. If you then produce the Netflix special with the joke included, you're the asshole. Because like honestly, there's nothing original technically. It's all a conglomeration of like humor is funny because it's a collective like understanding of what situations are funny, and you can now bake a new cake with it, but like it's with ingredients that have been tested as funny for a long time.
I wish I knew this guy's name. He's on he's doing really well on like the short form social media right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny, fat guy. Looks like probably he could be related to me. But he just told this one about being on a school bus. I can't fucking tell you what it was, but I was watching it and I was just like, it's so funny. Like when you watch one comic and then you watch another one and you could tell like, who's gonna really like go to the next level. And it's weird too, because unfortunately with comedy right now, comedy is less about how funny you are and is more about how many tickets are you going to sell? Like how many people fuck with you. So more people will go to a comedian show that, once again, it's very hard because judging comedy it's weird because once again, things that I do not find funny, there's a whole group of people that will think they are the top dog.
Yeah.
And I think that we have started to create an unfair balance, though. I will say that there is an unfair balance that was created by Joe Rogan. Like he has, if you're kind of not in his circle, you don't get past that. It's not joke gatekeeping. He's not gatekeeping people. Okay.
No, there's only so many people he can put on.
It's that when Joe Rogan is the biggest form of media right now. So when Joe Rogan was bringing on these comedians, he was bringing on, different people to show it was good, but now he's boxed himself in to where, honestly, I think Joe Rogan's getting burned out, but he's brought into more of how the world should be, even though he's not connected to that anymore.
Yeah.
He's not. You've been way too rich for too long.
Well, I mean, he's got his comedy club, so like he does see new people come through and is part of that. But
if they don't get what those guys got, they don't get to that level because that's what the other media wants to show. Like that's what they want to show when it comes to that form of entertainment because it's on the biggest one. So they just want to go buy the biggest one. So then you have other comics who are out right now who are just incredibly, incredibly funny. Like you don't have to be, I would say like one of the outliers is Nate. That's why I'm telling you, man, bro's on a different level because I guarantee you right now, you are watching this. It doesn't matter what you like. You watch a Nate Bargatze fucking special, you're going to laugh.
Yeah. He's
that good. And it's just, there's some comedians who just they know how to do it. They just know. I mean, once again, if he's not secretly like going back home and is just like a big brainiac motherfucker, then he just got the genius bug in comedy because goddamn, he is fire. He is fire. I wanted to do stand up and then I saw him do stand up and I was like, fucking, I quit.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Bill Burr, like you said. Like he's just got so many like witty takes on things and he kind of like punches everybody in the middle. Like, you can kind of understand where he lies on things, but like for the most part, like he is just like punching.
He tends to go a little bit too left.
Yeah.
And he needs to South Park it. Because he understands there's things wrong with that side too. Yeah. He just needs to South Park it, and you throw punches at both.
That Red Rocks one where he was talking about abortion, like I mean, it was the best take on it. He's like, yes, it might not be a cake yet, but like the batter is in the oven, like right. but you killed a baby. Like, I mean, and you know, he took that take on it, and
I will agree. Yeah, I will
and
agree.
it's one of those things where, like, I mean, he wasn't saying anything about like legal, illegal, whatever. He was just saying like facts on the table. Like, yes, you have the right to choose all this stuff, but if you leave that cake in the oven, it's going to turn into a baby. So like,
Right, yeah.
and you know, like, I'm not taking any stance on that either, but like, it's one of those things where like, that's the type of comedy that is great, because it is just like punch everybody in the mouth. It's the South Park.
It's the accountability aspect of it. It's I have to 100% make this what my side thinks is correct.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into politics.
Nope.
Honestly, I like talking about the comedians more. But yeah, it's so hard because you see like some of these guys and you're like, man, that could be some, because back in the day you could do that. You could see somebody on like the Just for Laughs or something like that, and you could be like, man, that guy's going to be different. Now it just feels like fucking shit. I hope you go to the right podcast and you say the right things and you get the right clips taken on your podcast. And so we're judging people from, like I said, once again, Joe Rogan didn't start it, but it's kind of like the mold now. It's like you need to be on these podcasts and you need to say the right thing at the right time with the right people laughing in the crazy ass laugh, or like people to fucking get to know who you are.
Well, I think there is a slight democratization of it where, you know, like technically if you do good stand up and you can get those clips in a club, like if people do actually fuck with your kind of humor and the jokes that you're laying out, like the only hard part is like you said, most comedians go and they workshop all these different jokes and the different ideas and concepts that they have. And so if you have those clips, you almost have to keep coming up with new material. Whereas like old school style is you worked on this one set and made a special, and that's what you would go on tour with. But like nowadays, if you want to be funny on social media, you have to create a way deeper bench of comedy, because like you can't repost that same joke. I mean, you can, but like after a while it's going to like fatigue. Like there's going to be people that have seen
it's
it.
way harder now too, because people think with increased exposure it makes things easier, but increased exposure increases for everybody. Like it's like now everybody who is, you know, they're really funny, but they don't really know how to like fucking command the crowd. They don't know to fucking, everything's not perfected. They're getting a bunch of views on their fucking clips too. And so now you're just it's like a desensitization thing where like now you have so much of it that you just got to be like wildly outside of it.
Well, and I don't think most people watch comedy on Netflix or whatever their platform is that they watch it on, or YouTube. For the most part, people don't go to comedy clubs. Like I like going to them, and I've been maybe 5-6 times in my life, and it's funny and great every time. But like, it's one of those things where like, what are we doing this weekend? It isn't like, let's go to the comedy club.
Right. Well, it used to be you go to a comedy club to hear funny stuff, but now because stand-up comedy is so popular, there's so many people wanting to be stand-up comedies. Comedy clubs have turned into open mic nights. And open mic nights is everybody going there to test their skills. And some people are just starting out. Some people, you know, they don't exactly know how to like formulate a joke.
All the comedy zones, they've still got comedians coming through every weekend. Like they're not open mic. They're legit ticket buying for people that are in the medium tier of comedy. You're not getting a Dave Chappelle or
right.
What's his name? Kevin Hart. Like you're not getting those people. Those people are stadiums and larger venues. But like all the
did you see Shane Gillis sold out a stadium?
Did he?
Yeah, fucking dope. Because the reason Shane Gillis is so good is it's like talking to a friend. It's just like it seems he's like the funny friend, except for where the funny friend, like, you know, about 50% of the things he says hits. All of his stuff is pretty good at hitting. And once again, there's going to be a bunch of people on here who's like, I don't like Shane Gillis. Once again, everybody's taste in comedy is different. I'm saying that he is good, and then I'm able to also take that step back. Like I'm able to take, like I said, I'm really good at seeing perspectives of other people. I'm able to take that step back and see that he is just generally funny. Like when he's doing a stand-up set. So it's not only that I fuck with it, it's that he is a very funny person. So him, fuck yeah, that feels just like a normal dude. Just like yeah, you could look at Shane Gillis and tell God did not design him to fucking, go.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what? I'm going to still do it.
Well, that's like when they did the Bud Light commercial, him and Post Malone. I was like, those are two dudes I'd actually sit down and would enjoy having a Bud Light with.
But they really feel like people that weren't supposed to. Like, Jelly Roll does not feel like a guy who was. And honestly, pros and cons about Joe Rogan is that we used to come from a time where you were decided if you were going to make it or not. So there was and now we are at the time where the people are like, hey, this is our guy. Hey, this is our guy. So that does make it a lot better. I just wish, he just focused more on. Look, I brought up political shit on my Facebook. Everybody was like, shut the fuck up, and you focus more on comedy.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say to Joe Rogan. So that was a moment where I was calling the pot, or, kettle black, whatever the pot was calling the kettle black.
And then you realize
the difference is I am poor.
Yeah,
I am very poor.
I have no influence on people's decisions.
A year ago, I was working in a box shop, so there's a little bit of difference to it. I'm still out here. I'm out here in the struggle. Okay, I'm out here struggling with everybody else in the struggle. So we're gonna get to this. Am I the asshole now? God bless America, land that I love. Am I the asshole for throwing a cup of water on my naked husband? My husband has been tested for ADHD, but he doesn't have it. He has the kind of problems that are associated with ADHD. However, he says writing lists, making a schedule, setting alarms is physically painful for him, and he'd rather just deal with the occasional emergencies rather than be proactive. The specific problem, he often forgets to put the shower diverter valve down. The little rod and the tub faucet that you put down I always leave that up. But normally, everybody in the house does. We're all riddled with the tism. So I always go to fucking turn the bath on to run a bath for like a kid and then get hit in the neck with water. At least twice a month, I have a very unpleasant wake up cold shower because I turn the water on and get a cold spray from the shower. And every fucking time he's apologetic. And then 2 weeks later, it happens again. He will do better for a while and then it slips again. He is always telling me that he's working on it and has been better about it lately. But somehow he's always working on it, always improving, but never fucking stops. Put up a fucking sign, bro. Like, if it's that big of a problem, have something there to remind him each and every time.
Well, the sign becomes just noise, too. Like, you don't see
I don't think so, because it's there, and it is a visual reminder.
I have a sticker on my mirror that I put up, like, when I went full-time doing video, and I put up these words. It says, take action, on my mirror, in my bathroom at home. I do not see that anymore.
What is that, to remind you to masturbate?
Yeah.
Take action. Start. Do it now. Today I've just fucking had it. I stepped into the shower, turned it on, had a very cold, rude awakening. I couldn't stand it anymore. I grabbed the cup by the sink and filled it with about 3 inches of cold water, walked out there to where he was standing naked. He had just taken off his pajamas and was going to take his shower after mine. Then that's a fucking... Without warning, he was looking down. I held up that plastic cup in my hand, grasping it tightly, and I jerked that motherfucker in a 45-degree angle to get that cold water all over his torso and face. If he did that, that would be assault, and he would lose the rights to see his kids. Just like, look, men do have it hard. Look, we can all agree, men have it pretty rough in the eyes of the law. Okay,
that was abuse,
right? And I will take that over not having periods every single day. I'll take it. I told him that his apologies were worth the paper they were written on, and I was tired of listening to him congratulate himself for getting better when I had been asking for 20 fucking years to stop doing this shit. I told him I don't accept his apologies, and the fact that it's an accident does not excuse it. I told him that from now on, every time I'm taking a cold shower, he's taking a cold shower. I ain't reading all that. I get the fucking point. Are you an asshole?
Yes.
I mean, it's fucking, yeah, it's a non-issue, bro. Like, that is really a non-issue. If you are getting mad at him for being unable to put it down, why the fuck can't you get it in your goddamn rhythm to check the fucking thing before you turn on the... It's the same thing. If you are unable to set it in your routine that you can check that little stopper being up or down before you turn it on, why are you... For him not being able to turn it off? It's literally the same thing. It is the same thing.
Well, that's one of my gripes with the toilet seat. And like, I agree the toilet seat should be down, but I don't like normally forget it. But if I happen to forget it, it was an accident. Like, it's like, it sucks, but like, also you're not like, your routine isn't to check it. And that's the thing, is I'm responsible for putting it down all the time. But if I'm like here at the office, like I'm the only one peeing in here for most of the day. So I'm just going to leave it up. And that's like, but like with that one, why the fuck, if you get that all the time, don't go into the full fucking shower before you turn the water on.
She can't do it. She can't fucking remember it. Just like he can't remember to put it down. And that's what I'm saying. People can't. They can't just like step back and be like, if I hear this problem and immediately come to that conclusion. I don't read these fucking things. Like, I just hear the problem. I'm immediately like, oh, why can't you put it down before you turn on the shower?
Well, it's like I'm real particular about my toilet paper being on a certain way. Everybody loves a beard. They hate a mullet. So over, not under. And like my wife even said in our wedding vows that she would put the toilet paper on the right way. And she does not. At a certain point, I was just like, okay.
Wait, what do you do?
The toilet paper comes over so it's easy to grab.
Because
she puts it underneath, and it's like you have to fight to find where the end of the toilet paper is. And so like it bugs me, and I'm like that weird like OCD guy where I'm just like I don't know how to. And so I just eventually got the fuck over it. Like she's not gonna learn, so I'm just put it on while I'm sitting there. I'll just turn it around. And now that's what it's done. So like I'm
honestly,
not mad
I was
about
going to
it.
agree with you, but then I thought to myself, I have not ever thought of that ever. Like the way it is, both ways is very easily accessible. If you struggle getting your toilet paper with the toilet paper turned a different way, then man, brother.
When you go to roll it, like you're going to roll it a certain direction because you think that it's coming out that way.
You can't pull it?
If it's not there to be seen and you're thinking like, where's the end of the toilet paper?
Yeah, but it's either a half moon will give you toilet paper coming down.
If it sticks on the toilet paper roll and you don't know where the end is.
What toilet paper? This must be fancy people toilet paper.
No, it's cheap people.
Because I get that fucking sandpaper that they got at Dollar General. That's like $2.
No, that's not it's called John Wayne toilet paper.
What is that?
You know why?
Why?
Rough, tough, and don't take shit off of nobody.
I mean, it takes the shit off, but it
takes 14 wipes to take the shit off.
I have used Charmin before and was like, man, that's a cloud upon my butthole. Yeah.
And it cleans faster too. So like technically you use less toilet paper if you have decent toilet paper. You don't have to go like for pillow soft, but like the sandpaper stuff does not, like it just smears everything rather than like clean. Whereas like if you hit the mid tier to
how many sheets of toilet paper do you use?
4.
I 100% look. I knew this by talking to him. Knew that he was a guy that knew specifically how many sheets he gets for toilet paper.
My dad said you can wipe your ass with 1.
Me, I'm a, and then I rip it off.
No, I'd clog a toilet if I did that.
It's not that much. It's just one. And the people know what I'm talking about if they fucking do it too. They know how much toilet paper that is, and that's good enough.
Say that word again. One more time. There you go.
Sound like a fucking Pokemon here. But all right, guys, listen. Hey, we have the voicemail up. MADHD is not about politics. It's not about comedians. It's not about Mike thinking he's an expert in judging comedians. It is about giving advice to people. So if you want to hear us give advice,
send it in.
Yeah, send it in. You can do it at mikeanddylan.com, MikeandDylan.com. We also have a voicemail. We also have a subreddit. There are so many ways that if you have a problem in life,
we can help you.
We can solve it. Now, something while the DJ revolves. It worst song that was ever made. And I will see you guys next time.
Later.